Continuing the presentation of the Professor Tirta, I would like to speak about the technology in general and the case of the maritime technology. So I try to imagine today or tomorrow or the futures, the world is become the artificial world. The virtual world become the real world. That is very interesting, and also the influence of technology to the landscape of the geopolitics. Next, please. I organized my presentation in 4 parts, but it is rapidly the introduction. Of course, we are talking about geopolitical dynamic, the role of technology and the maritime technology, and the closing statement. Next, please. As a background, as we are now, that the technology influence the landscape of the geopolitics today and the futures. Why? The first technology, we are believe the technology is the factor that can increase the acceleration of economic development. And we are now, by using technology, I think all of the activities, the process, the production process, etc., the administration will be more effective, efficient, and productive. And global supply chains can be expanded, as mentioned by Pak Gubernur last day. But in another world, the technology can also be seen as a commodity. So the high tech, like the smartphone, the drone, etc., it will be more competitive. So that's 3 factors, at least, support or competition have an impact on the geopolitics in the futures. Next, I would like to invite that today or tomorrow and today and the futures, now we enter to the what we call the internet age. That is the result of the technology. I would like to say we are coming to the stage where the problem cannot be solved without internet. We do not fear the internet, but we fear the lack of them. I would like to imagine when we are going to the office and the first time, what are we looking for is Wi-Fi. And we are going to the mall also, what are we going the first looking for is the Wi-Fi. Even when we are going home, the first what we are looking for is Wi-Fi. So the Wi-Fi is more important than wife today. That is, we can imagine the influence of technology for to our behaviors. Next. So the character of today, of what we call the industrial world in the 4.0, technology changed not only the way of work, but the way of thinking. We believe also that nowadays there is a transformation, big transformation from analog culture to the digital culture. What is the mean the digital culture? The phenomenon is dynamic, the French said is aléatoire, random, and that will give an impact. We arrive to disruption area, or we can adaptive to these changes. And also, I remember what Mr. Alan said, that the order will become chaotic or etc. Or we can develop more order in this world, in the geopolitics. Next slide. We can see the time to time, the internet users is increasing. And nowadays is 60.9%. Using the smartphone, and internet users is 63%, and active in social media. Next, please. Here we can see, but there are issues interesting, the gap between the developed country and underdeveloped country. We can see the internet users per 100 inhabitants. The developed country increasing rapidly, but underdeveloped, we can see the gap between developing and underdeveloped country. Next, please. It is very interesting when I quote, for instance, the Robin Nebold say that democracy in the futures need more data sharing. Data is one of the most valuable assets. But again, thanks to technology, nowadays we can organize the different form of data, the pictures, narration, etc., by using big data. The creation, use, and control of data will be a significant determination of futures, politics, and economy. Next slide, please. Another experts say that there are the changings, the map of power in the modern world. So in the modern world, the power is not longer defined by geography, geopolitics, maybe geotechnology in the futures, by control of territory or ocean, but rather by control over flow of people, good, money, data, and by exploiting the network of technology created. So the technology is become more important, and I believe that will change the landscape of the geopolitics. Every connection between nations, from energy flow to information technology, become a tool of geopolitics. Next slide. And here the issues, technological gaps, is influence factor in geopolitical change. It means the widening gap between the nature of transnational communication and the growing resistance to it from nation state give rise to new geopolitics. So it is our issues, our interesting to be analyzed. Underdeveloped country and developed country may be very dependent on the technology of developed country. Next, please. So I would like to say that the advanced technology is not only change the way of the work, but they change the way of how we see the world. Also, the advanced technology change the way how we create economic values, like the cryptocurrency, etc. And also the advanced technology change the way how we drive innovation, how we create the technology. And all of the factor is give the biggest impact on geopolitical for 2022 and beyond. Next slide, please. After COVID, now in the COVID area, we try to collaborate every country because the COVID is the problem all of the world, all of the people in the world. But after COVID, I think the rivalry of technology will become again as a tool of geopolitics. As Pak Gubernur mentioned, di dalam bahasa Indonesia ada patahan, connectivity, but there is disconnect between all of the cluster of the world. Geopolitics, the immediate impact will be amplified geostrategic conflict in reaction to difference in the technology. Next slide, please. But it is another side of technology. We believe internet gives an easier way to work, and also we can surfing the world by using internet. Internet we can consider as the windows of the world, but a lot of people say it's on the internet, so it must be true. But in the reality, there is a lot of fake news. This is push the social conflict, social interest, etc. Social unrest. Okay, next please. Here also, for instance, we know the dangers of botnet threat, for example. That is a lot of malware, etc. It is the creation of technology, but it's not give the value to the humanity. Next, please. Here it is very, for instance, yes, thank you for the futures. We can create the driverless car or the car without the driver. But in the another side, we can create the little autonomous weapon, the drone, etc. Every day, new technology are born. We have entered to the digital age and the Internet of Things, as I mentioned before. But the question is, can we use technology for a better human life and improve human civilization? Or the technology will destroy all the humanity? Next, please. And the role of maritime technology, of course, it is very important. Maritime without technology is nothing today. Please, next slide. For instance, here, I would like to an example. The Belt and Road Initiative, the rivalry between China versus America. We can see that Belt and Road try to connect the 6 corridor of economy. We can imagine without technology, how we can manage all of the connectivity. So we need the technology for better life. We can see the connectivity, the supply chains, the connectivity between the port, and how we drive the vessel, etc. So the technology can use, and who mastering the technology, it will be leaders of the world. Next, please. But again, trade war now become the technological war. For instance, an example, rivalry in social media, TikTok. US officials estimate the platform potential to profiling. So the TikTok now is prohibited in United States. But in China, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp is always also the prohibited. Technology on the one hand will increase the convenience for human, but on the other hand, it can be used as a political tool or the hegemony tools. Next, please. Here are things, yes, we can go into detail about the maritime technology. In the futures, the artificial intelligence will have the role important in maritime technology, sensor technology, robotic and 3D printing. Nowadays, as Pak Gubernur also mentioned, the relationship, the network between the supply chains. For instance, just only designed in Indonesia and will be printed in Europe, the 3D printing. It is possible now. It is materials in another site and the design in another country. Big data and IoT, as I mentioned. Nowadays, thanks to technology, we can manage, all of the data, the different form of data. Autonomous control become more and more. Augmented reality, such as universe, such as the city, etc. Ship propulsion system and advance of the material. This is all of technology can support the maritime technology. Next. The conclusion, hopefully it is in brief presentation. First, technology provides great benefit for human life, of course. But technology can also increase the dependence of the state on other state. The underdeveloped country depends on the developed country who create the advance of technology. Technology, like a two-edged sword, has two flip sides. The third is, as a result of technological development, there is a risk that people as individuals will lose their identity. And the fourth, technology is always for improving welfare, but technology can also be used to dominate and to control another country. Next, please. Another conclusion is a nation whose success in creating powerful maritime technology will be the rule of the world, will be the leaders of the world. Technology should be used as a means to improve welfare and not as a tool for the operation. It is, we hope, something like that, the vision. And the seventh, strengthening the national interest of each country must be followed by respecting the national interest of other country. So we can create the peaceful in the world, the balancing of power, etc. And the last, the principle of strategic partnership need to be the main guideline. Cooperation is carried out based on mutual agreement and fulfillment of common interests. It is very important. Last slide, I want to say, nobody knows what may happen in the futures, but we must continue to strive to live a dignified life. The wheel must keep turning and life must remain meaningful. Let us, as a human being, establish a civil society, as Mahatma Gandhi mentioned, be the change that you wish to see in the world. Thank you very much. This is my presentation.